Celine Dion. This movie is directed by Irene Taylor. This is a documentary about Celine Dion's life now that she's battling stiff person syndrome. Stiff person syndrome, if I remember correctly, it creates this muscular rigidness and a stiffness. It's also characterized by painful muscle spasms. Celine Dion needs no introduction for most, but of course, I didn't know her by name. Honestly, I did not know Celine Dion, the superstar. I knew her songs through the films I had seen. I didn't know that was her singing. She has a beautiful voice. Oh my. So a lot about her I learned from this documentary. It's essentially spread out as we follow her throughout months. Now that she's been diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, we see what she does, we see how much she struggles. And in the very end of the documentary, we get this very powerful segment. It's very moving. When one could say she's at her lowest, and I have to say, wow, most people would not let the cameras keep rolling in a situation like that. A superstar, even less. And I think what makes this documentary very special is how we see someone of Celine Dion's status. She always has cameras, eyeballs looking at her no matter what she does. So for her to just allow the cameras to keep rolling on something like this, on her struggles, I mean, it's not an easy watch, man. It's very disturbing, and the camera doesn't cut away what she goes through, especially in the end. But in her lowest moments, as the documentary shows, we see Celine Dion and her very warm soul. God bless her. I'm not gonna lie, in that moment I did tear up. And also what this documentary does, it really brings exposure to the health disorder. If I remember correctly, this is underdiagnosed. So for someone like her to put this out onto the world, I think will help out so many people. It's not necessarily just a documentary about her. I think in its own way, it is very selfless. Intercut within all this storytelling, we get many segments of Celine Dion singing in her prime or before, and it's beautiful. I think it's just always a reminder of her beautiful, beautiful voice. You can see a lot of the pain that Celine Dion is experiencing, not just physically, which is pretty obvious, but emotionally, because the way she speaks about her voice and the way she speaks about music, she talks about it like it's a long lost friend. If I had any gripes with the film, it's that those segments where we cut to Celine Dion's in the past, I think it was a bit too much presence throughout the film. All in all, this documentary was very interesting and its own way uplifting. But this is a great documentary overall from Amazon Prime. Another one, they just had Roger Federer, which I thought was better than okay, and this film is better than that one. I have to give this documentary a B plus. Guys, this movie is rated PG, and I think the main reason is because of thematic elements. There are scenes in here that I think would be too much for a child. I really don't think a child would understand what's happening, but just a heads up. It has to do with a medical condition that she has. Other than that, the film is fairly clean. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about I Am Celine Dion. Catch you guys soon. Bye bye.